I'm Linda Susan Cameron. I am 72 years old, born and raised in New Jersey in the United States of America. As a child, I always wanted to be a ballerina or sing and dance on Broadway. Neither of those ambitions came true or came to fruition. I did go on to pursue degrees in communication sciences and disorders and a profession, a long-standing profession of about 45 years as a speech and language pathologist. However, after graduate school, I had the opportunity to take some dance lessons, jazz, tap, and a little ballet. I did that for several years, but then got married, had a family, and as typical, other interests and commitments became a priority. However, many years later, although I was always very supportive of the visual and performing arts, I just needed to actively engage or pursue some type of art. And one day I was sitting with my mother, watching one of the very first seasons of Dancing with the Stars. And I looked at my mother and said, I'm going to do that. And here I am. Many years later, probably 15 years later or so, I've stopped counting after a while. I'm now here in Torino, dancing, primarily American Smooth, with my dance teacher and partner, Mitya Goodenick. Since I have been in Italy, we have competed in several countries, which for me as an American is just amazing to have that opportunity. We have been in Paris, Vienna, England, we've competed in Venice, Rome, and several places in Italy. For me, competitions are interesting. I am not a competitive person, but I often think of a competition as, for example, a painter, an artist who develops a collection of work in his or her studio and then has a showing at a gallery. For me, that's pretty much a competition. We work on skills, we develop our choreography here in the studio, and then I have those moments at a competition, that's my showing, to show the work, the hard work and effort, and the art of dance that we're working on and that we've developed. Dancing with a professional, and especially dancing with Mitya, has been a marvelous opportunity. He certainly has skills well beyond any skills that I have or probably will ever have. So he keeps me challenged, he keeps me thinking. Given my age, 72 years of age, it's a challenge to dance with a professional who is significantly younger than me, and that gives me the motivation to really stay in shape. Every day, or at least 5 days a week, I do take usually 2 days a week off just to rest my body and my mind, my thinking. But every day I have a series of stretches, of exercises that help me develop and understand better my core, my back, my balance, and the technique that Mitya is trying to teach me and that I need to learn. So dancing with a pro who is at the level of Mitya has been challenging, but a very exciting experience. dancing pro-am competitions in Europe is different than dancing in the United States. I am dancing American Smooth, and that is waltz, tango, foxtrot, and Viennese waltz. In the United States, American Smooth in competitions is very well developed. Here in Europe, it is it's still in its infancy. It's growing. The interest in American Smooth is certainly growing. But for me, it's been a nice opportunity to be part of this initial growth of American Smooth, and to have that opportunity to show other dancers in Europe a bit more about this style of dance. And it motivates me to keep learning and keep developing the style, so I have skills to show other dancers and hopefully get their interest in American Smooth. Actually, New York we danced the New York City Dance Festival, and that was for me, although I'm from the United States, it was exciting because, remember, as a little girl, I always wanted to sing and dance on Broadway. The New York City Dance Festival was, I believe, on 7th Avenue, which is just one street over from Broadway. So although I didn't sing, I did get to dance very close to Broadway. So that was really neat. However, I do have to say that dancing Blackpool, having that opportunity to dance the Blackpool Festival was absolutely amazing. As most people know, Blackpool is the most iconic dance festival in the world since, I believe, the 1920s. All the great ballroom dancers, past, present, and future, have and will always dance in Blackpool. So it was a great honor to dance Blackpool, something I never thought I would do. I know people who have come, who went to England and watched the festival but never participated. So I'm the only person I know who personally who has danced that, not once but twice. The first time I was very excited and emotional when I walked into the ballroom, and just knowing that all the greats had danced that space, had danced that floor, that was amazing. The second time we danced, this past May, I was less emotional about it, but still very excited. Perhaps one of the most exciting things was in our final championship, we did well. We made a few callbacks, and we made, I believe it was the final 12. And after we made the final 12, Mitya said, well, let's go celebrate and get some champagne. I took off my shoes, my dance shoes, and Mitya said, I'm going to go back and just check and see who made the final 6. And he came back and, I think, quote and unquote, said, you won't believe it, we made the final 6. You know, when I think about dance, and again, given my age, 72 years of age, I've been doing this for at least 15 years or more. It requires so much work, but as I said, I wanted to be actively involved. I wanted to have an active part of art in my life, and I've always had a great respect for dancers, regardless of the genre. And for me, to be able to get up every day and think about dance, participate in dance, has been for me a source of energy. And sometimes people ask me, why do I dance? And I often think, well, why do I breathe? Breathing gives me life, and dancing does the same. It gives me that life, that energy that I need to continue with every day of my life. So, and I would encourage anyone, regardless of their age, their abilities, if you have an interest in an art and specifically dance, pursue it, go for it. You don't have anything to lose, but you have so much to gain.